So, some weeks back, I posted a video discussing an independent wrestler by the name of Larry Sweeney, who had died as a result of suicide. Um, and the reason I felt compelled to discuss him when I generally don't do any types of video like that or this, is that not only am I a big wrestling fan, not only did I enjoy his work, but I felt I had something to say on the matter of suicide. All that being said, I had never met the man, so in that sense it was a little awkward talking about him posthumously. And then a couple days ago, a fellow by the name of Ryan Dunn was killed in a car accident. Ryan Dunn being a member of the TV show Jackass, TV show, movies, and that kind of thing. Now, I'm not the biggest Jackass fan in the world, but I'd actually, for lack of a better word, met Ryan Dunn some years back. I believe it was 2003, 2004. So, back then, Steve-O, another one of the Jackass guys, him and some of the, not all the Jackass group, but some of them, they did a live tour where they would perform random stunts live and meet the fans kind of thing. And Ryan Dunn was with them. So at the time I was a far bigger Jackass fan than I am now. And I went with a friend of mine who was also a fan. And I should, before I get into the story, I should point out the fact that I consider myself to be what's called straight edge, which means I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. And I'd also like to state for the record that I don't look down on anybody who does. And obviously, if I did look down on people, then I would not have gone to this Jackass show, let alone stayed through the whole thing, because not only was the audience thoroughly partying, drinking and lighting up, so to speak, the guys on stage were as well, the Jackass guys, drinking anyways, quite a lot. So, as I said, I consider myself straight edge, and part of the straight edge identity is, the one thing you can do to identify yourself to others as being straight edge is to draw X's on the tops of your hands. So I did that before I went to the show. I was able to stand right at the front, which was kind of uncomfortable, but I got the best view of what was happening. So all through the night, as I said, everyone around me, in the crowd and on stage, was drinking. And, the guys on stage were even throwing drinks around. So by the end of the night, I was not soaked, but I had quite a bit of stray alcohol on me. I stunk of everyone else's cigarette and pot. So in that regard, it wasn't the best time, but just the same, I had the show itself was fun and funny. Not great, but whatever. I honestly didn't know what to expect. But that's not really the point of the story. As I said, I'd drawn the X's on my hands, and throughout the night, people would cheer for the guys and throw their hands in the air, yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. So at some point, Ryan Dunn noticed that I had these X's on my hands, and I guess recognized that as being a straight edge thing. So when they finished the show, not officially, they left the stage and they came back for an encore, but when they first left the stage, they went up to the crowd to do high fives and stuff, and Ryan Dunn came up to me, leaned down to talk to me, and asked me, "Are you actually straight edge, or are the bartenders doing that?" Because that's where the straight edge X's came from, was back in the 80s. If kids wanted to go to local punk rock shows at bars, the only way they could get in is if the bartenders were cool enough to let them in, but draw on their hands so they know that those kids are underage and therefore cannot be served. And then some punks from Washington, some older kids who were old enough to drink legally, decided, we know how to have fun without getting wasted, so let's adopt this X thing as a way of identifying ourselves. Anyways, long story short. So Ryan Dunn saw the X's, I should say, and asked if I was straight edge, or if the bartenders are actually, or if I was perhaps underage, and this is the venue keeping me from drinking, which would be strange in this day and age, but irregardless. So I told him, no, I'm straight edge, and I forget what he said after that, but regardless, he left the stage. They came back, they did their encore, and when they went to leave the stage again they did more high-five stuff, and Ryan Dunn came back to me again, briefly, and he kind of ruffled my hair, or patted me on the head, one or the other, I forget. And I've always kind of believed that he was giving me props, like he recognized that I was straight edge, and at the same time recognized that I was probably the only straight edger in the whole building. It's not impossible that I'd be the only. There might have been others, or at least people abstaining in general, but I was certainly the only one who was probably proud of it. Meanwhile, everyone around me was thoroughly wasted. And again, I don't mean to sound like I'm on a high horse talking or trying to put anyone down who does drink or get wasted. You're an adult, you make your own choices, just don't hurt me in the process. And no one did, just stuff got flung around, and as I said, I reeked by the end of the night. But getting back to the point of the story, Ryan Dunn, I believe, recognized that I was kind of an odd man out, and had toughed out the entire night amongst all these partiers, the guys on the stage included. So he, in that brief moment, he gave me the pat on the head, I'm pretty sure it was, and in my opinion, I think he was giving me props. And in his passing, of course, a lot of people have been talking about him, people who really did know him in life, and it sounds like anyone who has met him or even barely known him, the general consensus is that he is a super nice guy. I'm sorry, was a super nice guy, awesome to everyone, and I felt compelled to share my story as a testament to that, because like I said, I didn't really meet him. Like, he never caught my name or anything. After the show, I almost introduced myself. Like, we kind of crossed paths, but I chickened out at the last second. But irregardless, it sounds silly to say, but we kind of shared a moment, if you will. But even if you don't want to put it that way, he was still cool enough to do that, to recognize what was happening, and just go out of his way to give me props like that. So my condolences to his friends and family. I just saw the video of Bam Margera visiting the crash site where Ryan had died, and Bam Margera he's in a bad place right now. So My condolences go out to him, the other Jackass guys, and most importantly, Ryan Dunn's family. Um, and rest in peace, Ryan Dunn. Thanks for what we had there that night. Thanks.